Hey guys, Dov here, and today I'm back with some more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. Yep, that's Khazrak on foot here. We're going to take him against Bretonnia. I had a couple of thoughts. He has pretty heavy armor, and with his armor in melee, the Dark Mail, he has even more, plus some magic resistance, Scourge, and the Apocalyptic Vision gives him some self-buffing and support abilities on foot. He's got pretty good stats. You can kind of cycle charge with him too, with 76 charge bonus on foot, pretty impressive. And yeah, I was just kind of hoping to tank through some Bretonnian infantry here. We've also got 5 spears, Ungor Spearman Herd with shields, a couple of Ungor Raiders. The elite here, you can see as that rock gets tossed, the Eye of Morslib. We've also got 3 pigs, Gorbel, and the Butchers of Kalkengard hidden in the woods here. My opponent, Red Legion, once again, actually brought a really good counter build to the Eye of Morslib, which is just to go super wide. He's got Knights Errant, Knights of the Realm on each flank here, Wardens of Montfort, King Lewin, and a Paladin, Men-at-Arms with shields, a few Peasant Bowmen, Spear Men-at-Arms, and Battle Pilgrims. And yes, before you ask, he did forget to bring a caster. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him in the end, but here I actually missed my charge order with these Razorgore herds, and they are going to get wrecked by those knights. We're going to follow up with the other great Razorgore herds, try and support there if we can. Meanwhile, the Butchers and Gorbel charging in the center, nice little Vile Tide there, exploding a bunch of Battle Pilgrims and Archers. Meanwhile, the Ungor Raiders are firing in, but you can see these Bretonnian Cav mostly unchecked over on this flank here. I do have my Ungor Spearman Herd kind of in a position to protect. I'm going to move them back mostly to support the Eye of Morslib, but right now we're going to put it to the test here. Khazrak getting jumped by Lewin. We'll go ahead and pop his buffs and see how he can do here. Maybe. He can stand up. Come on, Khazrak. There we go. 113 melee attack, 76 melee defense. Probably should have waited a little bit on that melee attack, AoE melee attack buff, the Apocalyptic Vision, so I could have got a little bit better support. I did hit, what, like 1 unit of Ungor Spearman Herd with that, but here I'm a little bit outmaneuvered. These Knights Errant are going to be able to get back along with the Wardens of Montfort and take out those Ungor Raiders. Very nicely done. Meanwhile, over on the far side, Ungor Spearman Herd helping the Razorgore Herd eventually kind of just not really trade with Knights of the Realm. Actually, we got pretty badly canned there, but some Poison Hounds in reserve for the time being, mostly being forgotten about. Could have used them definitely to help mop up a lot of these archers right here. Maybe draw away these cavalry from this engagement, but you can see I collapsed back with the Butchers trying to take out these knights. Lewin now drops down, but that's going to be a bit of a mistake with him as this summoned Cygor is here. He had avoided it earlier, but now he's going to get mass blocked in by these Minotaurs. You can see, I think Khazrak's also in here. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's actually participating in battle at all, but it looks like he is getting some hits somehow, like through the Minotaurs there. I'm not really sure. Maybe he's attacking those Battle Pilgrims, but regardless, Lewin's taking quite a bit of damage here. You can see the Paladin is sitting up in the air, providing the Guardian, not really wanting to dive down while all of this mean, nasty stuff is there. Understandable. Meanwhile, more Vile Tides being thrown. We've got a pretty good push on the balance of power right now. Most of that is because of the Cygor summon, obviously, but also Lewin having taken quite a bit of damage. It does a lot to harm the balance of power. So yeah, things are looking pretty good for me at this point, but we'll see. Definitely not down and out for Bretonnia yet. They've still got quite a bit of cavalry, and we are managing to pelt my own Cygor with the rock there, which is just absolutely amazing. The summoned Cygor goes down anyway, and now suddenly this engagement's not looking so hot for me. There's a lot of Bretonnian cav here, and the Butchers of Kalkengard are basically completely surrounded. I don't have any spear support on station. It's all been routed away. So really a rough situation for me. The Butchers of Kalkengard are going to get routed off, and you can see the Hounds again deployed just a bit late here. We're going to try and outmaneuver these Knights of the Realm, catch them in a bad engagement with these Razorgore herds, which we do manage to do. Poison Warhounds then going to get back and get on the Archers. That peels these other Knights away from this center engagement. Gorbel and these other units going to maybe finish off Lewin, but no, he gets back up in the air. Very nicely done, as does the Paladin. They both taken a ton of damage, but Gorbel's also paid for it with his own life. So yeah. I'm going to pull back with Khazrak and the Bray Shaman, try and get to the safety of the Cygor, so that if Lewin does try and dive them again, we'll have this big monster to not only provide the snare with the Warp Gaze here, but of course also provide that nice heavy damage. Poison Hound's secret mission, unfortunately, they got absolutely wrecked there, but things are still looking pretty good in terms of the balance of power. I mean, this Eye of Morslib is going to be a lot to deal with. There are still quite a bit of peasant bowmen, though, which worries me, so we're going to be throwing rocks at them, using the Ungor Raiders to shoot at them as well. Meanwhile, Khazrak taking some shots like a champ with his 100 armor. Brave Shaman only 15 armor will definitely take a lot more damage, but these last spears over here have a little bit of a pitched pocket trying to fight some peasants, though. Peasants were actually holding out for a long time, though, and because Khazrak and his Brave Shaman aren't very mobile, it's going to be hard for us to get over here to support in time. We do hit Lewin with the Warp Gaze, though, which for some reason is tagged as a buff. I don't know why. But he actually, I probably used the light a little bit early. I was trying to keep him from diving in and getting a terror route, but Ungor Spearman Herd just routed anyway, so how much did that actually end up helping, it's hard to say. But Khazrak and the Brave Shaman at least able to fight a little bit of time here without Lewin diving them directly. And yeah, Errant Knights of the Realm pulling back. Still plenty of peasant archers, which does worry me a little bit. Balance of power starting to creep back towards even, and I'm honestly not feeling great about my chances. I do feel that's sort of falsely inflated here, but I'm more slave going to come through and see if we can get an engagement on Lewin. Definitely wishing I would have saved the Warp Gaze for, like, right now, but also the Eye of Morslid failing to do any attacks. There we go. Actually gets a hit in there. If I had that Warp Gaze, I could have snared Lewin in place right here and then gone after him with both Khazrak and the Eye of Morslib, although the Knights coming in doing a good job screening out here. Handful of Knights and the Paladin also going to come back and start to slay the last of the Butchers of Kalkengard here, so beautifully done there. Oh yeah, there's what, one more Butcher fighting this Paladin. Will he finish him off? Yep, unit's been wiped out, just like that. The heroic Paladin finishes off the Butchers of Kalkengard. Foul moo cows. And yeah, it's just I have more sleep in Khazrak now. I do believe the Brave Shaman's also been shattered. Pigs being shattered here. We've got a handful of spears trying to make their way back over here, but at this point, I have more sleep in Khazrak versus the world, and the balance power's not looking great. Paladin comes down, utilizing his charge and anti-large bonus. Here come the Knights as well. Peasants with both pitchforks, bows, and, oh yeah, I guess they got swords. And, yeah, I love how the Bretonnian spears have, like, pitchforks, a lot of them. It's like, yes, this is a spear, I swear. It's a spear. Oh yeah. I have more sleep going to stomp out as many as it can. Khazrak also fighting here. If we can manage to get Lewin, we do get a pretty good terror route there, and I actually used one more Warp Gaze on Lewin to keep him from diving down and supporting so that we could get that terror route, but again, I just don't have anything to follow up on that terror route and chase those units off, and that is going to lead to them all coming back. Balance of power once again going back in Red Legion's favor. And this is it. This is Khazrak's final stand right here. Fittingly right up against the forest. Probably should have been in the forest, to be honest. Would have helped against all of these large units. But yeah, Khazrak gets actually killed here. Like actually wrecked. And then that's it. I have more slip runs away. Very nicely done to Red Legion. Fun game. Definitely the Foot Khazrak thing I'll have to try out a little bit more and figure out the optimal usage for, if there is any usage for it whatsoever. Probably doubt it. But 109 kills on the Eye of Morslib. Again, still not enough at the end of the day. Probably the miss micro of the Razor War Herds is ultimately what cost me. If I could have got a good charge there on those Knights on the side, just done a little bit more damage to them right off the bat and not lost out on all that value. Likewise, microing the Hounds a little bit better to go after the Archers and not allow them to get so much free fire in. I do feel like I had the tools to potentially win here, but for Red Legion, of course, taking a caster would be pretty nice. We both kind of theory crafted some different ways with this type of build, because I do think this build is pretty strong against the Beastmen. But just even cutting the Wardens of Montfort only, and taking especially a caster with Laura Beasts, very strong against the Beastmen, who would have thought. And for Bretonnia, especially with a super wide build like that, it's super easy to come in here and slot like Damsel. You can even take her on foot as just the numbers advantage. I don't know, she's probably not super likely to get gooned by anything. So yeah, you can almost just take her on foot like this. I definitely take Wildheart, one of the best lore attributes in the game, and Block of Doom also gives you a little bit of nice AoE damage as well. You could alternately take Wissen's Wild Form to give your Knights a little bit more armor, but I like Flock of Doom for the damage potential, and then yeah, just going basically with the same type of a build, super wide. I would probably go with just the regular men-at-arms here. Let's see, Paladin up in the air. Go ahead and just take Guardian on him so I don't forget to use his other abilities. Yeah, Lewin, we want to go with most of his goodies as well. And then I'd probably go with the Pox arrows. Maybe like 2 of them and 2 regular arrows. And let's get Spearmen at Arms with shields, Battle Pilgrims, definitely very essential here. And yeah, we even have enough for some chevrons. We could potentially do something like this, especially on the Spearmen at Arms with shields. It's going to be decent to maybe buy them, or even on the Battle Pilgrims as well. They already have such good leadership, though, that it's probably worth it to get the leadership for the Spearmen at Arms, something like this. Yeah, and then that is basically the same build, or a very similar build. You don't have the light cavalry component. You could potentially, you know, make an argument to bring at least just one like regular mounted yeoman, but something like this I think could be pretty strong against the Beastmen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, though. Definitely a fun one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.